Assassin's Creed Shadows is absolutely massive, and there are tons of legendary equipment hidden throughout the mountains of feudal Japan. So we're going to dive right into the best early legendary items that you can get when you start your playthrough that are easily missable, and some other incredibly useful tips for starting your journey in Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now I'm going to be showing you how to get a katana, a TANTO, and where to find your first Kasurigama, which is going to be incredibly useful for fighting multiple enemies. But the first thing we're going to showcase is Otakemaru's Battlecry. This is going to be your first trinket and will give you a significant stat boost. This gives you plus 1% health per mastery point in Shinobi, which means just with the 17 points that I have in here now, I get 17% extra health, as well as the health increase from having the Shinobi mastery itself. You're going to want to spec into Grappling Hook. Ascension boost comes in extremely handy, and one of the best skills is Heightened Senses, which allows you to slow down time to be able to sneak up on people in plain sight or sneak right around them to be able to assassinate people. Vault, Destabilizing Vault, and High Vault can come in really handy in combat as well, because being able to throw these shurikens and then deal back damage is really nice. To get Otakemaru's Battlecry, you're going to want to head northwest from your hideout. To get Otakemaru's Battlecry, you're going to want to head northwest from your hideout, across the river here, over into the Muggy Lands. There's going to be a camp here called the Koriyama Camp, and you're going to want to get down into this location right here. You can avoid all of the enemies in this area if you so desire, but all you need to do is go around the fence, jump down into this hole, and head back into this open area here, and on the left you're going to be able to find the chest with the legendary inside of it. Open this bad boy up and you get Otakemaru's Blessing and unlock the engraving to put on any item you unlock in the game. Now the way armor and weapons work in this game is actually pretty cool. Once you have access to your hideout, you're going to want to focus on upgrading two structures first. Since we're doing a video about armor and weapons, the forge is certainly one you're going to want to build first, and you're also going to want to make sure to build the Kagurega. Both of these are incredibly important and provide you with great benefits, but the forge for the purposes of this video is very important. When you first build it, you're only going to be able to upgrade weapons and armor to level 20, and it also allows you to dismantle them. At level 2, you can upgrade things to level 40, and you can engrave non-legendary engravings onto your equipment. Getting this to level 3 is the important thing, let alone being able to level up your armor and weapons to level 60. You can then apply legendary engravings. Now, the great thing about this system is anytime you unlock a legendary, you're also going to be unlocking its corresponding engraving, which means for any legendary item you get, as long as you have a level 3 forge, you can then put another legendary engraving on top of it. So the more legendaries you pick up, regardless if you actually like that particular weapon, unlocking the engravings can be incredibly useful. And the best thing about this is anytime you acquire any piece of gear, you can still apply these legendary engravings to them, allowing you to utilize any piece of equipment as if it was the legendary you found. Now, the reason you also want to focus on your Kagurega is because getting this to level 2 is going to allow you to accept seasonal provincial rumors that reveal the location's collectibles, unique treasures, and more, which means when you fast travel to these sites, you can go over to this browse contracts box. And each season you're going to be able to accept these 3 contracts that are going to provide you resources for upgrading your armor, weapons, and your hideout buildings. You'll also be able to find opportunities here which will unlock side quests and various other points of interest around the map. These contracts here are going to help you upgrade your hideout very quickly. Now, if you plan on using Tantos at all, this is going to be the best legendary weapon you can get in the game. It's called the Egan Sunset, and the reason this is amazing is because of the engraving on here, which slow down time on escape strike. Now, with the Tanto, you can get an ability called Leap Strike. You can hold R1 or R2 and press 0 in a direction to be able to leap towards the target and strike. The next version of this is called the Escape Strike. While holding R1 or R2, you can just touch 0 and perform a strike and backward dodge. You can also level it up again to be able to increase the damage this does, and this is incredibly easy to do. And the best part of this is this time slowdown can be chained as many times as you want to essentially have a permanent way of slowing down time while you're in combat forever. It is incredibly powerful, and the best part is once you unlock this legendary, you can apply it to any future Tanto you get, making this hands down the best Tanto you should get as soon as possible. Now, the best part about this is it's not very far from the hideout. If you head just a little bit northwest past the Katana foothills, there's going to be this camp right here called Tezuku's Lair. Inside of here is going to be one building, and you can either sneak past all the enemies or just full-blown murder hobo them. But regardless, once you go inside of this building, on the left-hand side is going to be a legendary chest with the Egan Sunset legendary dagger inside of it. Now time for your first Kasurigama, which is going to be the legendary Deathbloom. This has the engraving of increased impact on alternate attacks, and it's really not that far from this location. If you head a little bit farther southwest, we're going to go just inside of Yamashiro, and we're going to go along this river here over to Little Leaf Glade, and then you can follow this river up into this location over here called the Sarumaru Shrine. And just behind this shrine is going to be another legendary chest with the Kasurigama inside. Now, even if you're just starting out, this area might show its higher level for you, but you won't have to fight anybody. Just ride on your horse to that location and you should be perfectly fine. Now, the Kasurigama is an amazing weapon and perfect for taking down multiple targets. I highly recommend a Cyclone Blast as your first skill to get into. Unfortunately, you will need to be a rank 3 in knowledge to be able to unlock this for the first time. Before that, Feral Outburst is pretty amazing. And if you want to be able to entangle enemies and throw them into each other, this can also be very useful too. Quick Strike comes in very handy as well. Now, the Kasurigama is a great AoE weapon. You can tap L1, and then when you light up just like that, if you tap R2 on the controller, you can do this AoE move immediately after, and you can actually chain that together. So you can do light attack, heavy attack, and then another heavy attack to do more AoE damage. You can also do a heavy attack into light attacks, or any combination of the two to chain as many different attacks as you want together, depending on how you start leveling up your Kasurigama skills. If you hold heavy attack, you can actually do an AoE posture attack that will put everybody into posture vulnerability around you, and then you can start chaining your AoE moves, doing even more damage. This thing is actually absolutely devastating. So what I recommend doing is holding your heavy attack, posturing everybody, and then going into your Whirlwind of Death, which is going to most likely kill most enemies. If you go to Osaka and head out from this island right here, there's a large boat we can go to for another legendary chest. You'll be able to see it on the horizon. At first, you might think it's an actual island, but no, it's a humongous boat. You can climb up the boats on the back or front side on these little parts right here. There are a lot of enemies on this boat, but you can avoid combat. The legendary chest is actually going to be in this back building here, and there's a window open at the very back of this that you can just jump right into and assassinate the one guy inside of here, and then go ahead and loot your legendary chest. This gives you the Bloodshade legendary katana. This has high weapon DPS, posture, ability damage, and the status effect of bleed buildup. You also have the engraving for affliction buildup is not lost over time, which can be really good depending on what future build you have, and this thing looks absolutely amazing. There is a ton of resources you can collect on this ship as well, so if you're so inclined, you might as well loot everything here because there are a ton of valuables worth getting. You can get stuff for your hideout. There's going to be other types of armor and weapons you can loot from all these various chests, and a bunch of different cosmetics for your hideout. Ooh, also got an epic quality Kasurigama here too. Now, I believe most of the loot from these types of chests as far as weapons are concerned are going to be randomly generated. Got a tall beech tree here as well, a garden gravel path, and this is just lucrative all around. This ship actually may very well be one of the best places I've gone to loot stuff. So yeah, 10 out of 10, one of the best loot spots early in the game. Now, if you want to take down some castles, you can get the Peasant hat, which gives a plus 100% of an adrenaline chunk upon entering combat, and as Nale, that's pretty useful. And then you can also get the Peasant clothes. This one has attacks have 3% chance to remove one health segment on hit, and if you're using a weapon like the TANTO, which has a lot of hits, this can actually come incredibly useful. To be able to get the Peasant hat, you're going to go northwest of your hideout, and you're going to head to Tatsuki. You're going to want to pick up this fast travel spot, and we're going to need to take down a bunch of samurai daishos in this area. The first daisho can be found right near the fast travel point. He kind of pats around this road right here. Next daisho can be found a little bit farther south. There's a little building right here that you can stand on top of that he's going to walk right in front of, and you'll be able to get an easy assassination. If you go inside of this building right here while you're hunting for the daisho, you can actually loot a key that we can use to get into another one of the buildings. The key we just picked up is going to be used to open up this building right here, which is going to have loot we want inside of it. There are two guards standing to the left side of this building. You can whistle and get them to come to you and assassinate them if you don't want to get into a big confrontation. One of them should go one way and the other one should go another, allowing you to be able to assassinate them or fail completely if you're like me. After dealing with them, you can go ahead and unlock this door. There's going to be some supplies you can smuggle inside of here, but the main thing we want is this chest right here. We're going to get the elevated tea accessory item that we can use for our hideout. All of these little locked rooms are going to have items that you can get for your hideout. The final daisho is going to be located right in this little courtyard here. He often stands in front of this little explosive here, which I'm wondering now if we can actually hit that and kill him with it. Kind of. It's definitely a lot more fun than assassinating, I guess. Now that you've killed all the daisho, we can open up the legendary chest. You just want to go to the top of this castle here, and there's actually a hatchway that you can open up and climb right down into the area that you need to get to be able to loot it. Funnily enough, there's a dead dude down here for some reason, so that's cool. But from here, we just want to drop down into this area, open up this door, murder this guy, and claim our precious loot. Now for the peasant clothes, you're going to want to go west of the hideout to Osaka Castle. Pick up this fast travel point, and then we need to hunt down a couple more samurai daishos. The first of which is going to be walking around the castle around this area. There's a nice spot that you can actually secretly assassinate it right along this corridor right here. There's going to be another samurai daisho that walks around this area here, and I think you can assassinate it pretty easily from the top of this building. And then the final one is along this area right here. Now, once you've killed all the daishos, at the top of this castle is also going to be another hatch that you can drop down into to be able to easily loot the legendary chest. Now, these are some of the best legendaries and engravings that you can get early for Naue, and in the next video, we're going to be covering armor and weapons for Yasuke that are going to be so unbelievably powerful, you can just absolutely massacre everything. And hopefully, I'll see you all in the next one.